Chosen one, pay close attention. You are here not by coincidence, but by divine appointment. God Himself has arranged this moment so you would hear this message. You are about to receive a very special call, and it is not the kind of call that comes from ordinary numbers or human hands. This call carries something eternal within it, something that can awaken what has been sleeping inside your soul. Heaven has chosen this exact second to reach you, and the sound of that call is already echoing through the chambers of your spirit. Do not mistake this for chance or curiosity. In the language of heaven, there are no accidents. What feels like a random encounter is often a sacred invitation, a number, a voice, a stirring in your heart. These are not trivial moments. They are signals from the kingdom, gentle taps on the door of your destiny. God often speaks through the ordinary to prepare you for the extraordinary. Every divine call is wrapped in purpose, and every purpose is revealed in perfect timing. That is why you are hearing this now, not yesterday or next week, because your spirit is finally ready to listen. And when the true call of heaven comes, there is always a stillness that follows a holy pause, where the noise of the world fades and eternity leans close. Many fear silence, yet silence is where God's voice grows loudest, as C.S. Lewis wrote in Mere Christianity, 1952. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is His megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Sometimes that ring does not come through your phone, but through longing, loss, or the ache of waiting. Those are not punishments. They are heaven's way of waking you up, reminding you that you were never forgotten. Chosen one, your story has never been random. Every unanswered prayer, every delay, every quiet night of doubt has been leading to this very moment. The call that is coming is not meant to take something from you, but to reveal something, the part of you that was formed for divine purpose. This is not the end of your waiting, it is the beginning of your becoming. The same God who watched you in silence is now speaking again, saying, "Rise, for your time has come." So do not scroll away. Do not dismiss what you feel stirring inside. The fact that you are hearing these words is proof that the line between heaven and your heart is still open. You are being summoned to remember who you are. Not the broken version that the world labeled, but the one that heaven designed before time began. If this message speaks to your spirit, if something inside you knows that this call is meant for you, write it below as an act of faith. Comment the words, "I hear the call," not for visibility, but as a declaration that you recognize heaven is calling your name and you are ready to answer. Because sometimes destiny begins not with a shout, but with a whisper that says, "Yes, Lord, I'm listening." When? And now, chosen one, as the echo of that heavenly call lingers in the silence, something begins to stir deeper within you. The sound that reached your heart was not a coincidence. It was a code, a message written in divine language, designed only for your soul to recognize. Heaven does not dial wrong numbers. Every call it sends finds the one it was destined for. That is why your spirit reacted when you heard it, not because it was new, but because it was familiar. Somewhere inside, you already knew this voice, the same voice that once said, "Let there be light," and your life began. What you are about to understand is this. The call is not simply an event. It is an awakening. It is the moment heaven reminds you who you truly are and why you were sent here. Each of us was placed on this earth with a divine assignment hidden beneath the noise of routine. For years, you may have mistaken survival for purpose, busyness for destiny. But when heaven calls, it is not to add noise to your life. It is to bring order, to pull everything back into alignment with the reason you were created. This call is sacred because it carries remembrance. It brings to the surface what your spirit has always known but your mind forgot. The world taught you to chase security. God is teaching you to return to significance. The call reawakens what was buried by disappointment, what was silenced by fear. It is the gentle yet unstoppable reminder that you were never meant to blend in, you were meant to be set apart. As it is written, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you." Jeremiah 1-5. This is not poetry, this is identity. And identity is what the call restores. Chosen one. The secret hidden in this call is not about a phone ringing or a number flashing. It is about heaven initiating contact with its own creation. The vibration you feel in your heart, that sudden awareness that something holy is happening, is heaven whispering, "You are remembered. You are being summoned back to the path prepared for you long before time began." It is not a call to comfort, but a call to becoming. A call that asks you to leave behind the noise of what was and step into the silence of what will be, because in that silence, God will speak again. Do not rush this moment. The call is not impatient. It waits until your heart is still enough to hear, and when you finally listen, you will realize that it was never about receiving something external. The real secret is this: heaven's call does not come to your phone. It comes to your spirit. It doesn't ask for your attention. It claims your existence. This is the summoning of destiny, the holy recall of everything you were created to be. And as the sound of it settles into your soul, one truth becomes clear. What God calls, He equips. What He begins, He completes. And the call that found you today was written into eternity long before your first breath. When the call of heaven touches a soul, its echoes rarely come as words alone. They arrive as patterns, subtle alignments, moments that seem ordinary until the spirit within you begins to see their rhythm. Chosen one. When the divine speaks, it often clothes itself in what the world calls coincidence. A repeated number, a familiar time on the clock, a verse that keeps appearing before your eyes. These are not accidents. They are reminders that creation itself was built on order, on sequence, on holy design. The same God who numbered the stars and called them each by name still speaks through numbers today. Do not fall into superstition, but do not dismiss the sacred pattern either. Numbers are not magic, they are messages. They carry the fingerprint of the one who created mathematics to mirror his perfection. From the beginning, every measure, every ratio, every cycle has declared his voice. When you begin to notice repetition, when the same digits whisper again and again across your path, ask not, "Is this luck?" but rather, "Lord, what are you saying to me through this?" For the language of heaven is order, and order is never random. There are seasons when heaven uses these signs to train your perception, to draw your attention back to the unseen. The car clock flashes 3:33, just as your heart prays for guidance. You glance at a receipt marked 770, 7 when hope starts to waver. These are not codes to decode, they are confirmations of presence. They say, "I am here, I am watching, I am guiding." The moment you begin to see life through the lens of the Spirit, you understand that the universe is not chaotic. It hums in harmony with divine intention. Remember, though, that discernment is your safeguard. A sign from God will never lead you into fear, pride, or confusion. It will lead you into peace. As it is written, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace." 1 Corinthians 14:33. If the pattern you see draws you closer to truth, to humility, to worship, then you have heard rightly. If it feeds anxiety or obsession, release it, for heaven's language never enslaves, it frees. Chosen one, learn to read the rhythm of grace written into your days. Every heartbeat is a number, every sunrise a count of mercy renewed. When God repeats something in your life, it is not because He forgot you heard it the first time. It is because He wants you to believe it at last. The numbers are only symbols, but the meaning is eternal. Heaven has been speaking all along, and now your eyes are finally open to see. There comes a moment, chosen one, when the ringing stops. The sound that once filled your heart with fire fades into quiet, and heaven seems to go still. You wait for another word, another sign, but none comes. And it is here in this sacred stillness that God begins his deepest work. The silence after the call is not a mistake, it is the method of heaven. For the same God who speaks through thunder also teaches through stillness. Do not mistake this silence for distance. The absence of sound does not mean the absence of presence. When heaven grows quiet, it is not withdrawing from you, it is training you. Every servant destined for something great must learn the language of the unseen. Silence is the classroom where faith matures. It is where your dependence shifts from what you feel to what you know that he is still there, even when your emotions cannot find him. Yes, the silence can feel unbearable. Doubt will whisper, "Did I imagine the call? Was it even real?" But just as a teacher stops speaking during a test, God allows the quiet so that what he already taught can take root. The seed of destiny is buried in this darkness. You cannot see it, but it is breaking open beneath the surface. Heaven's silence is not rejection, it is refinement. This is the pattern of every chosen vessel. Moses tended sheep for decades in the desert, thinking his purpose was lost, but God was forming his patience. David wrote songs in caves long before he wore a crown, because worship must come before rulership. The silence between promise and fulfillment is where character is forged. Scripture declares, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. Stillness is not inactivity, it is faith under discipline. So, chosen one, do not flee from this quiet. Embrace it as sacred preparation. The silence is not empty, it is full of unseen construction. Heaven is watching how you wait, whether you murmur or meditate, whether you despair or praise. Every pause carries purpose. And when the silence finally breaks, you will hear more than a voice, you will recognize the heart of the one who called you. For those who endure the stillness with faith will rise from it unshaken, ready to walk in the fullness of their destiny. When the season of silence begins to lift, the one who called you speaks again, but this time not with words that thunder. He answers with a sign. Chosen one. The second sign comes as confirmation, not as correction. It arrives like light slipping through a shutter, quiet yet unmistakable, declaring that heaven has not changed its mind about you. In the pattern of God's dealings, there is mercy. He confirms what he begins. The first call awakens, the second sign anchors. It is written, "By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word shall be established." 2 Corinthians 13:1. Heaven itself follows its own law. What God spoke in secret, he now seals with evidence through a circumstance that aligns too precisely to be chance, through a door that opens when all others remain shut, through peace that settles where fear once ruled. Do not think the sign is given to replace faith. It is given to strengthen it. The first encounter ignited your spirit, but the second builds your endurance. The Lord knows the human heart, how easily it forgets, how quickly it doubts. So he speaks twice, that his promise may take root. The sign is not for your curiosity, but for your confidence. It whispers, "Continue, what you heard was real." The second sign rarely comes with fanfare. It may appear in the timing of a message, in a repeated phrase, in a person sent at the exact moment you were ready to give up. Heaven arranges details to remind you that divine precision still governs your path. It is never random, it is deliberate mercy. Chosen one, when the sign appears, guard it carefully. Do not chase it, analyze it, or boast of it. Simply receive it with reverence. A true sign will draw you closer to obedience, not distraction. It will lead you to worship, not pride. Let it steady your heart like a lamp in the wind. For this is the rhythm of revelation. God speaks, then he stills. He confirms, then he commissions. The second sign is heaven's assurance that the silence was not the end but the shaping, and that what began as a whisper will soon unfold in fullness. Watch and remember, because when the sign appears, the journey moves from hearing to believing. Chosen one, the silence has done its work, and the second sign has spoken. Now the air itself begins to shift. The atmosphere around you feels different, lighter, alive, as though creation recognizes that something new is stirring. This is the moment when prophecy begins to unfold, when what was once whispered in secret begins to manifest in the open. The old season is closing, and the new has already begun to breathe. Every ending in God's design is really a doorway. What once felt like loss was preparation. What felt delayed was divine timing maturing into fullness. You may not have seen it, but the heavens have been moving, aligning every piece into place. There is a sacred rhythm to destiny, and now it reaches its next measure, the unveiling. The same hand that called you and trained you in silence now stretches forth to perform what it promised. The Spirit of God says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" Isaiah 40, 3-18-19. The new thing is not waiting on time, it is waiting on recognition. Heaven is not preparing to move. It is already moving, and your awareness is the signal that it's time to step forward. Chosen one, this prophetic moment is not about prediction, it is about revelation. It unveils what heaven already finished, but earth is only beginning to see. Every tear you sowed in the last season is about to rise as testimony. Every prayer buried in obscurity now becomes the seed of breakthrough. The Spirit is saying, "Lift your head. The storm has served its purpose." The clouds that once hid you now part to reveal the light you were formed to carry. The old season was the wilderness. This one is the promised ground. The old tested your faith. This one will prove your fruit. You will begin to see movement. Doors that once resisted will open. Paths once tangled will clear, but do not rush. Prophecy unfolds like dawn, not explosions, soft at first, but unstoppable. Stay steady, stay humble, stay expectant, for this is the hour heaven turns the page of your story. The chapter of endurance is ending, and the chapter of fulfillment begins. The same God who called you has kept you through the silence, and now he declares, "The time of preparation is complete. Step into what has already been written. The old season is over, and your new beginning is here." Chosen one, as the prophecy begins to breathe, heaven opens the eyes of your spirit. What was once invisible starts to take form. It is no longer only words or promises, it is vision. The fog that covered your future begins to lift, and in that holy clarity, you start to see what God has been preparing all along. Vision is not imagination, it is revelation. It is heaven showing you what already exists in the eternal realm, waiting to manifest in the physical. The Spirit of God begins to unveil images before you, glimpses of what is to come. You see a table, long and radiant, set with abundance, and your name carved upon it. Everything that once slipped through your hands has been restored, multiplied, perfected. This table is not made of wood and stone, it is made of grace. It represents reconciliation, provision, and honor, the very things the enemy once swore you would never see again. You realize now that the famine was only the prelude to feasting. Then the vision shifts, and you see a key placed into your hand. It glows with light that no darkness can dim. The Lord whispers, "This key is authority." Every door that was once sealed, every opportunity that seemed beyond reach, will respond to the authority I have given you. The doors will not open because of your strength, but because you now carry heaven's permission. The years of waiting were not wasted. They were building the character to carry this key without arrogance, to open doors and still bow low. And then, chosen one, you see a path of gold stretching out before you. It is not smooth, but it is sure. Each step glows only as your foot touches it, teaching you to walk by faith, not by sight. Along this golden road stand doors, each marked with your name, each prepared for its appointed time. You realize the journey itself is part of the promise. The path is not leading you to blessing. The path is the blessing. As you watch, the vision grows brighter. Faces appear, people once distant now drawn near, relationships healed, hearts mended. You see joy replacing sorrow, purpose replacing confusion. You see the reflection of yourself walking in peace, clothed in light, unshaken by shadows that once frightened you. You see favor following your steps and mercy surrounding you like armor. This, chosen one, is not fantasy, it is prophecy made visible. The Lord is showing you that the future is not something to fear, but something already prepared. The vision is heaven's assurance that His plan for you was never lost, only hidden until you were ready to see. Hold this vision close, write it down, pray over it, walk toward it. For as surely as the dawn follows the night, the image of blessing you see today will one day be the reality you live. And when it comes to pass, you will know it was never luck, never coincidence, but the unfolding of a divine promise that had your name written upon it from the beginning of time. The vision fades into light, and in that brilliance, heaven begins to move again. The sound is not thunder now, it is harmony, a chorus that fills the air with awe. Chosen one, this is the moment for which the silence trained you and the signs prepared you. Heaven is not calling you forward as a servant only, but as an heir. The coronation has begun, the public confirmation of what was privately declared over your soul. You find yourself standing before a great hall of radiant gold. Every wall glows with living light, and every beam carries your name. Angels stand as witnesses, not as strangers, but as family, rejoicing as heaven proclaims what it has always known. You are chosen. The crown that descends upon your head is not made of jewels and metal. It is woven from obedience, endurance, and grace. Every tear you ever shed, every prayer you whispered when no one heard, has been forged into its brilliance. This crown is not a reward for power. It is the recognition of surrender. As the crown settles, the king himself draws near. His voice does not thunder, it resonates like truth entering marrow. You are mine, he says. You were never lost, only hidden until the appointed time. The fire did not destroy you, it refined you. The silence did not break you, it built you. Now rise and walk as one who has been set apart. The weight you feel is not heaviness but holiness. The weight of divine trust. Chosen one, this coronation is not a ceremony of vanity. It is a covenant of purpose. You are being confirmed not for applause, but for assignment. The world will see favor, but heaven sees responsibility. The crown does not make you greater than others, it makes you accountable to serve with humility. You were chosen to reflect the glory of the one who called you, not to steal it. It is written, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, His own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light. 1 Peter 2-9. This is your identity, royal, not by bloodline, but by calling, holy, not by perfection, but by purpose. The coronation is heaven's way of affirming what hell could never erase. Your name is written, your authority is restored, your destiny is alive. Now you understand why the wilderness was necessary, why the waiting felt endless. You were being prepared to carry a crown without losing compassion, to hold authority without abandoning humility. The wilderness stripped you of what was temporary, so that the crown could rest upon what is eternal. Chosen one, stand tall not in pride, but in promise. The one who anointed you will sustain you. The throne before you is not a seat of comfort, but a station of calling. Rule not with fear, but with love. Speak not with anger, but with light. The coronation marks the end of hiding and the beginning of reigning. heaven has spoken, and your name has been confirmed in eternal light. Now, walk forth not as the one who waited, but as the one who has been chosen, crowned and commissioned. The music of the coronation fades, yet its echo remains soft, sacred, eternal. The light that crowned you does not dim. It begins to spread, tracing every corner of heaven's hall until it forms a single, blinding brilliance. And there, chosen one, written across that living light, you see it your name, not engraved in stone, not inked on paper, but inscribed in radiance that no shadow can touch. The heavens themselves bear witness. You belong to God, and nothing in existence can erase that truth. This is the eternal promise, the covenant that cannot be broken, the seal that cannot be undone. When God writes, his words are eternal. When he names, his naming is forever. The same hand that formed galaxies has written your identity into the light of eternity. No failure, no betrayal, no season of silence can erase what he has written. What was once questioned is now confirmed. What was once delayed is now secured. You are not a servant wandering in uncertainty. You are a child of divine inheritance. As it is written, rejoice, because your names are written in heaven. Luke 10:20. The promise is not future, it is finished. It does not depend on emotion or performance, but on covenant. You may walk through storms, but the inscription remains. You may stumble, but the engraving does not fade. For this is the nature of grace, it does not forget. It remembers, it restores, it reclaims. Chosen one, this light that bears your name is not distant, it is alive within you. The same radiance that fills heaven now dwells in your spirit. When you pray, it glows brighter. When you forgive, it expands. When you love, it shines through you like the reflection of eternity touching time. You carry heaven's signature in your soul, and every act of obedience causes the letters of your name to gleam with greater brilliance. Understand this, the eternal promise is not merely about belonging, it is about becoming. You are not written into the light to stand still, but to illuminate others. The light upon your name is not a decoration, it is a direction. Wherever you go, darkness must yield, for your identity itself is revelation. The promise that holds you is the same power that sustains the stars. It will not flicker, it will not fail. And now heaven speaks one final word over you, chosen one. What I have written, I will not erase. Let that truth settle in your spirit like an unshakable foundation. You are sealed, secured, sustained. The call found you, the silence shaped you, the sign confirmed you, the prophecy awakened you, the vision prepared you, the crown anointed you, and now the light names you. Your story is no longer written in dust, but in glory. The eternal promise stands as heaven's final declaration over your life. Your name is written in light, and light never dies. And now, chosen one, the journey comes full circle. The voice that once called you out of obscurity now crowns you in light. The signs have spoken, the prophecy has unfolded, and your name etched in eternal brilliance shines as testimony that heaven finishes what it begins. You are no longer standing at the edge of calling, you are walking in it. The silence, the struggle, the shaping, it was all preparation for this divine unveiling. Lift your head and stand tall, not in pride but in promise. You are not who you were, you are who God always intended you to be. Every scar has turned into a seal, every wound into wisdom. The fire did not consume you, it purified you. The waiting did not weaken you, it established you. You were not hidden to be forgotten, you were hidden to be revealed at the appointed time. That time is now. Declare this truth with faith. I am the chosen one, called by grace, strengthened by trial, crowned by mercy. What heaven began in me will not end in defeat. I walk in peace, I stand in purpose, I live in light. These words are not mere affirmation, they are alignment. Every time you speak them, you agree with heaven's decree over your life, and heaven moves to fulfill what your mouth confesses. Remember the words of C.S. Lewis in The Weight of Glory, 1941. There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. You are not random dust, nor passing shadow. You are eternal purpose wrapped in human form. Heaven has placed its fingerprint upon you, and the world will know it by your light, your compassion, and your endurance. Chosen one. You were not crowned to be admired. You were crowned to bring light into dark places. Let love guard your authority, and humility sustain your strength. Walk boldly, for the same hand that wrote your name in light will guide every step you take. As it is written, he who calls you is faithful, and he will surely do it. 1 Thessalonians 5:24. And now, as this message reaches its close, let it mark a beginning inside you. The call has been answered, the silence conquered, the crown received. The rest of your story will be written in glory, and its light will not fade. If these words speak to your heart, if you feel the call awakening within you, then let heaven hear your amen. Like, share, and comment, I am chosen below, as your declaration of faith. Let it echo beyond the screen, a witness to the world that the chosen ones are rising, one light at a time.